Welcome again to yet another interesting video. This is a problem on Leetcode, and the problem is container with most water. So you are given an integer array height of length n. There are n vertical lines drawn such that the two endpoints of the ith line are I0 and I height I, which is like in this example I0, which is the this element, which is 1 0 up to 1 8. Find two lines that together with the x-axis form a container such that the container contains the most water. Return the maximum amount of water a container can store. Notice you may not slant the container. So the container has to be like the line of the container has to be parallel with the x-axis. And with this example 186.254.837, the maximum container that you can build is with item number 1 and the last item, and the area of that would be the minimum of those two elements, which in this case is 7, into multiplied by in other words the distance between them, and the distance between these two elements is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 7 into 7 49. That's the max area for this particular array, and that's the result that you want to give back to solve this problem. Now intuitively you can solve this problem with the brute force solution, which has two loops. One is outer loop, which will iterate through the elements one by one, and the inner loop, which will try to look at max area that two elements can make, like what is the max area that one can make with 8, and then with 6, and then with 2, and so on and so forth. And then every time you calculate the max area, you are picking the maximum of previous max area and the new max area that the new element can provide. And once the loops have completed, you have the max area that you have found between the best two elements, and that's the max area that you can give back as a result. So clearly that solution will work. The time complexity of that solution would be big O n square, and but if we want to do a better solution, then that's what I will talk about in this video. And before I dive into writing code, the intuition of that the solution, which is linear time, is that we will have two pointer, front and back. So in this case, like, we will have one as front will be at 1 and back will be at 7. So now between the two of these, 7 is the biggest element. So it would be better for us to stick with 7 and increase the front pointer, because the product with 7 would be bigger. It will not be with 1. So we are increasing front when the back element is bigger than the front element. So in the second iteration, front would be 8 and back would be 7. Now front is bigger than the back element, so it would be better for us to stick with the front element and decrement the back pointer. So the back pointer will come and become 3, and at every iteration we are calculating the max area that we can find from this array, and we will only update it if the new max area or would be max area is bigger than the previous one. So we will keep doing that. If the elements are same, it does not matter, we increase the front or decrement the back pointer. So to keep things simple, in the program that I will write, I will see if front is less than equal to back, I will be incrementing the front pointer. So in this case, when 8 and 8 are there, the front will become 6, and then we will do multiplication of 6 with whatever max area it can produce, and so on and so forth. And in the end, we will have a max area available for us, which we can return back, and that's the resolution for this particular problem. So now what we need, we definitely need the 2 pointers. Front will be start, and then we are looking at height dot length minus 1, and then what do we need? We need int result, and we will set it to a minimum value, so that whatever minimum product we get, which is bigger than integer or min value, which is the negative of 2 to the power 32, that will become our max. So now we need a while loop, and what are we going to do? We're going to do if height front is less than equal to height dot back, and then we have height front is greater than back. So what do we want to do in these cases? We want back to be decremented, we want front to be incremented, and we also want to calculate result, which will be math of max. Then since front is lesser, we are going to multiply front with back minus front, and then we are doing res. I think I'm missing a bracket. Yes. And then in the other if condition, we are going to multiply height back, and that should be all. Return res. So I think we are good to go. Let's run it with that test case. Oh, yeah, simple error. Alrighty, so clearly this works. It is definitely a simple solution, faster than the brute force. So if asked this question, you should first talk about the brute force, and then you should talk about how you would optimize. That would give the impression that you know the brute force mechanism, and you know the way to improve it as well. All right, thanks for watching it. Let me know if you have any questions for me. Thank you.